Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Xtract One Technologies, a leading technology-driven threat detection and security solution leveraging AI to provide seamless and secure patron access control experiences. Please note you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Scheduled Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Peter Evans, CEO and Director, and Karen Hirsch, CFO and Corporate Secretary of Xtract One Technologies, Inc., which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol XTRAF and on the TSX under the symbol XTRA. Welcome, Karen and Peter.
Thank you very much, Matt, and we'd like to welcome all our investors today to this presentation. As one would expect, we have the normal disclaimer for this presentation. The presentation may contain some forward-looking statements, and as we expect, the normal typical disclaimers apply. Let's talk a little bit about what we do in Xtract One and put it in context of the marketplace. Everyone on this call is familiar with going to an event these days where these events require us to be screened for the potential threat from weapons. On the left here, as we can see, is the typical experience going to a large venue with a whole wall of walk-through metal detectors, where each of us as individuals have to divest of all of our personal items, watches, wallets, cell phones, keys, in order to be able to enter into the venue. This is a long process. It creates a lot of lines and it creates a lot of invasiveness, which in today's world, people are not really looking forward to. These walk-through metal detectors were developed about 50 years ago for a different problem, to solve problems in the penitentiary system, and they were not designed for today's modern threats and modern issues that we experience in society. Those threats and those issues are only accelerating, as we see in the headlines every single day. These obsolete walk-through metal detectors also do not fit into the brand aesthetic that is looking to be presented by the owners of sports teams, of schools, of government locations and other venues, where we're looking to create a warm and welcoming environment while maintaining security for those patrons. Essentially, the experience has declined while the need for security has increased. Security and patron experience are always in conflict with each other. And the more requirement we have security, the more that patron experience declines significantly. On the right is the typical experience what someone has when walking through one of Xtract One's smart gateway solutions. Xtract One has developed some purpose-built sensor technologies that are wrapped with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities and technologies to specifically watch for and alert on weapons, not metal, as the old walk-through metal detectors did previously, but weapons. So when a patron enters into their favorite concert venue, such as the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, where we see this patron entering, they simply walk right in, only alerting if they have a knife, a firearm, or bomb-making parts on them. By leveraging digital transformation innovation in the same way we've used digital innovation transformation to change every other aspect of our life, how we do banking, how we do online e-commerce, how we do education, and how, in fact, we're holding this call today, we've been able to transform the physical security marketplace and completely transform security as well as that patron experience. We'll dig into that a little bit more in the following charts. At its simplest of levels, the typical walk-through metal detector these days allows about 5, maybe 6 people to walk through it in a minute. And consequently, long lines are formed as everyone has to divest of their metal personal objects on their body. This creates, again, a lot of frustration, particularly if we're going to see our favorite concert, our favorite sporting event, where we've paid hundreds or thousands of dollars for this event. It's a bad reflection of the brand of those venues. In the case of the Xtract One Smart Gateway, people just walk right through, as if you're walking down the sidewalk, only alerting on, those individuals who have a weapon or some sort of a threat to the venue. This creates a fast, frictionless experience that can cause a lot of positive outcomes for the venues themselves. Some of those positive outcomes that we've seen with the numerous customers that we've deployed the solution for are almost a 7x to sometimes a 10x increase in throughput, from 5 to 6 people per minute to anywhere in the range of 30 to 40 or more people per minute. This results in a much faster ingress, which allows the venue to have a lot more flexibility on how they wish to deploy their security strategy. They may choose to decrease their overall security staff. If, for example, in one venue that we work with, a very large arena of about 17,000 patrons, they previously might have had 40 or 45 walk-through metal detectors, and the salaries for those staff might have caused a charge of about $1.5 to $2 million for security staff every year. With the Smart Gateway solution, that venue can now experience getting those same patrons into the venue about 50% faster or more, with about 1/3 of the security staff, significantly lowering their overall operational costs and creating a lot more operational efficiencies, while having the patrons into the venue in a much more secure manner. That walk right in experience oftentimes leads to a lot more food and beverage sales. The other key benefit here is, since this is a digitally enabled technology, there's a lot of digital insights that are provided to the venue. That venue, for example, can get a lot of information about the ingress speeds, how people ingress in one entrance versus another entrance, the type of weapons that are brought in, and be able to plan for future events, looking for common patterns and trends to constantly refine and innovate around their overall operational strategy, their overall security strategy, and more data that can actually help and assist with marketing activities and being able to manage things like concession stands, for example, in a much better manner. So netting this all out, what does this mean? For the venue, there's a potential to significantly lower overall operational costs. For the venue, there's also the opportunity to use digital insights to further improve their overall business operations. For the patron, the ability to enter into the venue much faster in a much more frictionless manner without having to divest of all their personal items. For us at Xtract One, we have the opportunity to deliver a solution that's fundamentally changing that overall experience. And based upon that overall software that we deliver, the opportunity to think about an end-to-end journey for the customer, not only taking out weapons, but also to think about the whole end-to-end journey for the patron experience upon entry into a venue. This whole approach, by having digital insights, is also very beneficial in the fact that you now move to a proactive and preemptive approach to security. In today's security world, where we're worried about shootings that are occurring oftentimes every day in places such as schools and hospitals and other venues, the ability to enable the security staff with digital insights in advance, as opposed to having those digital staff react to a problem, allows us to be much more preemptive in how we protect our venues and how we protect the patrons in those venues. What does this mean to Xtract One as a business? Post-COVID, in around March 2021, we were introducing the Smart Gateway product to the marketplace. The Smart Gateway product was delivered as a result of feedback from the customers about what they were specifically looking for in order to enable and secure their venues. We took a customer back approach as opposed to a product forward approach to really understand what those customers were looking for and how we might deliver that best. At the time of COVID lifting, we had a few pilots, a few contracts, a very small backlog, and a very small pipeline. Something very insignificant in terms of a business operations. Fast forward about 2 years or so, we've been on an accelerated growth path with over 95 pilots, over 46 contracts, and over almost $12 million of bookings backlog waiting to be shipped and installed and served. That backlog is expected to convert to revenue within the coming quarters. We've also built about an $86 million platform pipeline. This is pipeline for our Smart Gateway platform, which are highly qualified opportunities. Initially, 2 years ago, when we entered into this industry and we brought the Smart Gateway to the market, we segmented down the market and focused primarily on arenas and stadiums, places where there was already a budget and already a security staff, and there was familiarity with the screening processes. That made a great opportunity for us to come in and deliver a better solution with a strong ROI to those customers. The market hasn't waited for us, though. Other segments are coming to us proactively and pulling us into those segments much faster than our original business plan. Today, about 50% of this pipeline and about 50% of our revenues are from non-arena and stadium segments: manufacturing, distribution, schools, hospitals, and places where people conduct work. For example, amongst those segments, we count amongst some of our customers organizations such as Kia's manufacturing plant in West Point, Georgia, one of the largest auto manufacturing plants in North America. Hyundai and other automakers, schools such as Lakewood School in New Jersey, and hospitals such as Sentara Healthcare, one of the largest not-for-profit healthcare organizations in the mid-Atlantic and all the way down to the southeast. Each of these customers represent a broader set of customers that we have been working with to expand our business model and serve the marketplace with a very fast, frictionless, and essentially non-invasive solution to ensure their venues are protected without changing that customer experience. We also count amongst our growth plans aligning with very strategic organizations, those who have a large influence on the industry itself. We're pleased to announce in October of last year a strategic partnership with Oakview Group. Oakview Group runs about 350 venues globally on behalf of their customers. Oftentimes these arenas, stadiums, convention centers, and theaters are owned by cities, municipalities, or universities and colleges. And Oakview Group runs those venues on behalf of those organizations. After an extensive analysis and running technical trials on all of the different technologies available, Oakview Group chose us as their strategic partner to become the solution of choice for ensuring that in all of their venues, whether it's Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, or whether it's UBS in New York, or more specifically where we've deployed at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, or Acrisure Arena in Palm Desert, California, that all of those venues are protected with the most advanced technology that's available. As the CEO Tim Lewicki said, I did not spend $1 billion creating some of the most engaging entertainment experiences on the planet, only to have people walk through a 50-year-old walk-through metal detector. I want this to be a fast, frictionless, and enjoyable experience where the first touch with the brand is a great experience walking through the Smart Gateway. We also announced earlier this year in February a strategic partnership with Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden owns the Sphere in Las Vegas, soon to be open in September, as well as the very iconic and globally recognized Madison Square Garden in New York City, Radio City Music Hall, and the Beacon Theater and the Chicago theaters in New York and in Chicago. After extensive testing over 24 times in multiple venues at multiple events, Madison Square Garden selected us as their preferred technology vendor to ensure they were providing advanced security to their locations, as well as ensuring that they were giving the best patron experience in a highly competitive marketplace such as New York City. Madison Square Garden also chose to invest in Xtract One in order to accelerate their vision and our vision for how the patron experience will change, not only today for weapons, but tomorrow for things like an integrated solution to identify band patrons, VIPs, and those who have tickets all in one seamless walk-in experience. When we think about the industry itself, and we think about why investors are choosing to invest in Xtract One, there's really a couple of key highlights that jump out at me. The first is we're digitally disrupting an existing marketplace in the same way that so many markets have been disrupted by digital innovation such as artificial intelligence. And the same experience that we've seen from folks like Amazon who've completely disrupted how we do purchases and creating a digital experience around that is how we see our ability to change and completely revolutionize the physical security marketplace. The interesting thing about this is not easy. There's a lot of physics that has to be done here in order to provide the sensor technology and the AI software around it in order to be able to detect weapons very, very effectively. We uniquely have the ability to detect the broadest set of firearms, as well as the full set of knives, as well as bomb-making parts. This is important. In North America, while we're very, very concerned about the threat from firearms and guns, in other parts of the world, such as Asia and Europe and the UK, knives are the predominant threat. And Xtract One has the unique ability to detect those knives with the highest level of accuracy, even better than the current walk-through metal detectors. This creates a high barrier to entry for that sensor technology. It's not easy to replicate. We've also been independently verified. We've taken an approach because this is about security and the security of our families, our children, our loved ones, and our fans and patrons to ensure that we are providing a very robust solution. Accordingly, we've had numerous organizations, including individuals from the U.S. Federal Marshals Organization, the Department of Justice, the TSA, and others, independently verify and prove our technology to be the most effective at detecting weapons on the planet. The AI platform that we've built today that not only serves the threat detection marketplace, but has the promise to deliver more, sets a stage for us to be an active participant into a $135 billion marketplace globally. At present, we are very focused on North America, where there's a high interest in protecting the venues, but we will look to the future into entering into some of those global marketplaces at the appropriate time. We built a model that has both an upfront solution to it as well as a SaaS model. I personally love a SaaS model because it provides predictable recurring revenue for all of our investors as we report our financials. And as we saw earlier in the presentation, there's an incredibly compelling customer ROI, where not only does the customer experience significantly improved operational costs, digital insights to go manage their business much more effectively, but there's also a compelling ROI for the customer's customer to fully monetize the value that they expect when they pay hundreds of dollars to go to their favorite entertainment experience and to enter in the venue without having to wait in 60, 90, or 120-minute lines in order just to see their favorite performer. Overall, this creates a very complex set of opportunities for us, as well as a great trajectory and a ramp for our investors while we continue to deliver more value into the marketplace. At this point now, I think, Matt, what we will do is we'll take questions. If we can turn to the Q&A, I'd be very much appreciative. So looking at the Q&A, we have a large number of questions that have come in, so we'll start at the top here. Karen and I will address as many of these questions as we can today and answer any others in writing following the call. The first question comes from a gentleman who says he lives in Pittsburgh, where he's a member of a Tree of Life synagogue where white supremacists slaughtered 11 worshipers. And will Xtract 1 be installing their system of places of worship? Places of worship is unfortunate these events do occur in North America. We are being approached by numerous churches, schools, hospital organizations, and others who want to deploy our solution to protect those environments. And we welcome all opportunities to have discussions with those environments and with those locations in order to be able to protect those individuals. The next question here is, can you provide some color around your strategic partnerships and investment from organizations such as Madison Square Garden Sports? Karen, I'm going to ask you to answer this question, please.
So as Peter mentioned, we did go through extensive testing with Madison Square Garden from a technical standpoint with the technology. And as Peter also mentioned, they did choose to make an investment in Xtract 1. They did that through their MSG Ventures group, where the mandate of that group was to align their vision with technology partners that fit within their vision of the future and the patron experience. They have been wonderful to deal with. We did a private placement with them, which involved having a representative from MSG join as a board observer. We have now had someone from their corporate development group join our board and providing wonderful insights to the company. It has been a fantastic experience in terms of MSG's presence and prominence in the industry, in terms of supporting us, giving feedback, making introductions. It really has been a fantastic experience all around to have their guidance and support with us. And we look forward to many years of partnership with the Madison Square Garden organization.
Yeah, I can add to that also, Karen, that I personally am enjoying the relationship with Madison Square Garden. They've become incredible advocates for us across the industry. And as such, they are opening numerous doors for us that have helped accelerate our business significantly. The next question we have here, Karen, is what sets Xtract 1's approach to artificial intelligence apart from our competition? That's a very good question, a very thoughtful question, because artificial intelligence, AI, is very topical these days. And we're seeing a lot of excitement around the possibilities of what artificial intelligence can do, like ChatGPT. We have a very unique capability. And first off, I think it's important to understand what is true AI. true artificial intelligence is what we believe it to be, where the system is almost mimicking the intelligence of an individual and able to correlate a large amount of data to be able to provide intelligent outputs. There's a lot of solutions that are out there today where they claim to be AI. AI is a very interesting and topical buzzword that marketers are putting all over their websites, putting all over their booths at trade shows and things like that because it's hot. But one has to be very, very careful because a lot of AI is really just pattern matching. If it looks like a duck, it must be a duck. In our case with AI, we were very fortunate that we acquired a company called Xtract AI, ergo our name, Xtract One, which was working on behalf of the Department of National Defense, doing things like developing very complex AI solutions that would go on cameras that would sit on the belly of a F-16 airplane. So you can imagine the complexity of an F-16, flying at Mach whatever over enemy territory and being able to discern with a high degree of accuracy the kind of enemy device that is on the ground. That level of accuracy that satisfies the D&D's level of requirements is very, very unique AI that we've integrated into our platform, and that it not only is providing us the efficacy of weapons detection, but also is providing the ability to extend that platform to do so many more things, such as recognizing and identifying an individual and recognizing that individual as a ticket holder, a VIP, these sorts of things. So what we like about our AI is the fact that it is true AI, not just pattern matching, and that can actually deliver the highest quality of weapons detection of any technology on the planet, but also able to do that with a lot of detail and a lot of accuracy, and also be extensible to provide so many more values in the future, which we see as new revenue streams that we'll just start layering on top of our incumbency for our weapons detection solution. We have a next question here, which is, can you share projected revenues or installations for 2023 and your growth prospects for 2024? Karen, I'll let you answer this question.
Sure. I guess the answer at this point is no. We're still an early stage company. We're getting incredible growth and traction in the market right now, as evidenced by our third quarter results, where we had a record quarter in terms of bookings, and we're growing very quickly. The flip side of that is when you're growing at that kind of speed is that it's very hard for us to see some predictability, both in terms of how fast we're growing into the industries that we're growing, and what model our customers are choosing to move forward with, whether it's a subscription model or whether it's an upfront traditional model, of which we offer both to our customers. Based on all of those factors, we just don't have the trending yet to be able to provide that kind of guidance going forward. What we can say is that we see a vibrant market. We see incredible demand, unprecedented demand, both within our target markets and other markets, adjacent markets that we hadn't anticipated delving into at this point in time, but are finding that they're moving forward very quickly, like schools, public sector, hospitals, and other markets that Peter mentioned. So stay tuned. We will definitely be providing more guidance and metrics going forward. At this point, we're very focused on just gaining incumbency and continuing that positive trend and record-breaking trend that we've done in the past.
Yeah, I have to agree, Karen. We don't want to disappoint investors, by over-predicting or under-predicting, or over-forecasting or under-forecasting. And there still is a lot of choppiness in the marketplace. This marketplace is changing very, very quickly. A year ago, the schools were exploring. Now they're buying. And that's a quick change to the marketplace that is a little bit unpredictable, and that can change those forecasts rapidly. What I can say and add to your comments, Karen, is our first quarter of this fiscal year, we did more business than we did in the entire year last year. If I look at the last quarter we just announced, the third quarter, we did double the business in the third quarter that we did in the first 6 months of this year. And overall, these 9 months of the fiscal year that we've just delivered, we're almost 800% more business than we did in the prior year. That's an incredible trajectory and growth path to be on. I don't see any reason we won't continue that. So the next question we have here is, what are your sales resources and channels? What is the length of a typical sales cycle? It's a great question. I believe in proximity to the customer because, as I said, we are a customer-back organization, not a product-forward organization. We went out to the customers and we said, what do you like about the competitive products? What do you not like about the competitive products? And we made sure that we improved upon all of those aspects. And we will continue to do that. And you get that kind of feedback from customers by being in the same room with them and talking about things. Just yesterday was a customer, and he gave us 6 great ideas, small changes that have a huge impact to their operations. And those are all things that I thought, wow, this is very, very interesting, and that will leapfrog us past the competition. They don't even know what they don't know about what customers want. So I like that proximity to the customer. So we've built out a direct sales force over the past 2 years of high quality A+ individuals who can engage at a very intelligent level with the customers, not only to sell our solution, but ensure the customers set up for success in the people, processes, and technology aspects of the correct implementation of a solution. Now that we have momentum, now that we have growth to scale the business, we've been judiciously and intentionally selecting key partners to bring on board who carry the same sort of approach to customer engagement, as well as for the installation side of the business, so we can provide a very quick immediacy in terms of installation for the customer and support right in their backyard. And so we've done that intelligently over the last 6 months to make sure we're selecting the right partners in the right way to fuel the growth. There's another question here, which is milestones to the end of the year. I'll provide a couple of mine, Karen, if you could then add yours. My key milestones fall into sort of a couple of characteristics. We have a huge backlog, as we announced in our third quarter earnings report, and we want to convert that to revenues as quickly as possible by shipping the units to serve those customers as fast as possible. The second key milestone for me is we're working on some third-party certifications and awards, and we want to see those happen as quickly as possible. And we have all eyes on those activities on a daily basis to make sure we get those awards and certifications as fast as possible. The other key milestones for me are continuing to scale out the business and continuing to grow the pipeline and the bookings at the same pace as we've been experiencing over the last 3 quarters. Karen, what would you add to that?
Well, I would certainly reiterate any of those and all of those, particularly the scaling, which is definitely what we're focusing on in every aspect of the business. And part of that scaling involves making sure that we have adequate capital to be able to grow at the speed that we're growing. So that's really my focus this year, is to make sure that we have sufficient capital to support the growth that we are experiencing, and perhaps a little bit more, just given what we've seen in the market and how fast it's heated up, is to stay ahead of that curve and make sure that we're able to have sufficient funds to execute, and that we, as Peter said, have the right partners and the right headcount internally to be able to take advantage of that growth opportunity.
And so that's all the questions that we have right now in the Q&A, Karen. I can't see any more. Let's pause for 1 minute and see if any investors have any additional questions. It looks like that's it. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today and participating in this call. It's always a pleasure to talk to the marketplace and give a little bit of our insights about where we are and where we're going. So